Top oil producers in the world. Number 10. Kuwait. Kuwait is the 8th largest producer of oil in the world, producing an estimated 3.0 million barrels of oil per day in 2019. The majority of Kuwait's oil production, 81%, comes from onshore fields, while the remainder, 19%, comes from offshore fields. Kuwait has been producing oil since the 1930s and is considered one of the founding members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The Kuwaiti National Oil Company, Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, KPC, is responsible for the exploration, production, and distribution of oil and gas in Kuwait. Kuwait holds an estimated 10.5% of the world's proven oil reserves, which are estimated to be around 101 billion barrels. Kuwait's oil production has been consistently increasing since 2002, and is expected to continue to increase in the coming years as new oil fields are discovered and developed. Number 9. Brazil. Brazil is one of the world's top producers of oil, with an estimated 3.2 million barrels of oil production per day in 2019. Much of Brazil's oil production is from offshore fields in the deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean, particularly in the Campos Basin. Brazil also has a number of oil fields in the Amazon Basin and in the country's interior. The majority of Brazil's oil production is heavy crude, with a sulfur content of about 0.7%. In addition to oil, Brazil is also a major producer of natural gas, with production increasing steadily in recent years. The government has encouraged the development of these resources, and the country is increasingly becoming a major exporter of energy. Number 8. Iran. Iran is one of the world's top oil producers, and has the second largest proven oil reserves in the world. As of February 2020, the country's estimated oil production was 2.1 million barrels per day, up from 1.8 million in April 2019. Iran has a long history of oil production, with the first commercial oil wells being drilled in 1908. Iran is a major exporter of crude oil, and supplies a significant amount of crude oil to Europe, Asia, and Africa. The country is also one of the founding members of OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Iran's oil industry has been a major source of revenue for the country, and has been critical to its economy. Number 7. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is one of the world's top oil producers, having the 7th highest proven oil reserves in the world. In fact, the UAE produces about 3 million barrels of oil per day, making it the 5th largest producer in the world. While most of the UAE's oil production is located in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, the rest is produced in the Emirates of Dubai, Sharjah, and Ras Al Khaimah. UAE's oil production is a combination of onshore and offshore production, and offshore production makes up a major portion of total output. The UAE is also one of the few countries that has managed to maintain a consistent level of oil production despite the global downturn in oil prices. As of 2019, the UAE's proven oil reserves were estimated to be 107.8 billion barrels, making it the 10th largest oil reserve holder in the world. Number 6. China. China is one of the world's largest oil producers, ranking 3rd after the United States and Russia. In 2019, China produced an estimated 4.7 million barrels per day, accounting for about 5.6% of the world's total. China is highly reliant on oil imports, as domestic production does not meet the country's growing demand. In recent years, China has made efforts to increase its production capacity by investing in new technologies and developing fields in the South China Sea. China is also investing in overseas oil and gas production, including in countries like Venezuela, Iraq, and Iran, and has sought to gain access to oil reserves in the Arctic. China is a major player in the global oil market, and its production is expected to continue to grow in the years to come. Number 5. Iraq. Iraq is the 5th largest producer of oil in the world, with an average of 4.7 million barrels per day in 2020. Iraq has large reserves of crude oil and is the 2nd largest holder of proven oil reserves in the world, estimated at 142 billion barrels at the start of 2020. Iraq produces oil mainly from its southern fields, near Basra, including the West Kurna, Zubair, Rumaila, Halfaya, Majnoon, and West Baghdad fields. Iraq also has oil fields in its northern and western provinces, but they are not as large as the southern fields. Iraq has just started exploring the oil potential of shale fields located in the northern part of the country, and is also planning to increase production from its offshore oil fields in the Persian Gulf and Mediterranean Sea. Number 4. Canada. Canada is one of the top oil producers in the world, producing approximately 5.24 million barrels per day in 2019. Canada is the world's fourth largest producer and the fifth largest exporter of crude oil. Canada also holds the world's third largest oil reserves, the majority of which are located in Alberta. Canada's top export markets for crude oil are the United States, India, and China. Additionally, Canada produces significant amounts of natural gas, with approximately 12.3 trillion cubic feet produced in 2019. Canada is the fifth largest natural gas producer and the fourth largest exporter of natural gas in the world. Number 3. Russia. Russia is the second largest producer of crude oil in the world, with an average production of 11.3 million barrels per day in 2019. This puts them behind only Saudi Arabia in terms of total oil production. Russia produces most of its oil from the vast reserves located in the West Siberian Basin, which contains over 60% of the country's total reserves. Russia is also the world's largest exporter of petroleum products, exporting over 5 million barrels per day in 2019. Putin's government has made oil and gas production a priority, and the country has managed to increase its production steadily in recent years despite economic sanctions. Russia is also looking to expand its presence in the global oil market by investing in production in other countries, such as Venezuela and Iran. Number 2. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the world's top oil producer, producing 12.5 million barrels per day in 2018. It is the world's largest exporter of oil, shipping over 7 million barrels per day in 2018, and it is also the world's largest oil exporter, shipping over 8 million barrels per day in 2018. Saudi Arabia is the largest producer in the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and is the leader of OPEC production cuts. Saudi Arabia holds the world's second-largest proven oil reserves at 266.5 billion barrels, and the country has the capacity to produce up to 12.5 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia is also a major player in the natural gas market, having the world's fourth-largest proven natural gas reserves. Number 1. United States. The United States is one of the world's top oil producers, having produced an average of 19.45 million barrels per day in 2019. This makes the United States the second-largest oil producer in the world, behind only Russia. The U.S. is home to some of the world's largest oil companies, including ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips. Additionally, U.S. shale oil plays a significant role in the U.S. oil production, with Texas, North Dakota, and New Mexico accounting for more than half of the total U.S. oil production. The U.S. is also the world's largest exporter of oil and has seen its exports increase significantly since 2014. The U.S. has also made significant investments in renewable energy sources in recent years, and is expected to continue to decrease its overall dependence on fossil fuels. Hey everyone! Thanks for watching this video about the top oil producers in the world. There are a lot of unique and interesting facts and figures out there about the world, and that's what this channel is all about. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more of our videos on curiosities around the world, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.